And welcome back to the channel where today the Steam Summer Sale is back again. It's June the 25th, 2020, and I've got a different event this year. Instead of all the racing stuff that we had last year, we've got lots of cool animated stuff. I don't know, I'm just here to buy games that I don't need in the first place. Anyway, these are the kind of top games overall from any game in the entirety of a summer sale that I think you should take a look at the very least. So, to save wasting any more of your time, we'll jump right into the first game. Our first game on the list is the wildly popular Borderlands series with Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 was met with mostly positive reception when it was released, and while I don't personally play Borderlands myself, I have some friends who do, and they say it's a very enjoyable experience indeed. And the fact that you can get Borderlands 3 on its own for 50% off seems like a very good deal, especially given there's no Epic Game Store exclusivity, as I know all of you really like the Epic Game Store. That's why you're watching a video on the Steam sale. Anyway, what I also noticed while I was browsing this page is the Borderlands bundle itself is £48 or £24 more, and you get, I'm not going to try and tell you what's all in that, a lot of stuff. You get all of the second game and its add-ons and DLCs and items, and then you get Borderlands 3 itself as well as that. It seems like a pretty good deal if you want to get into the Borderlands universe of things. If you're from my perspective and don't know anything about Borderlands, that seems like a good way to get into things. If you don't know what Borderlands 3 is, I'll give you a quick recap. It's a kind of shooter-looter game with some RPG and action elements to it. You basically get to shoot lots of things, upgrade lots of things, collect lots of things is the general premise of the game, and it has a cool little art style that a lot of people like. The next game on this list is Planet Coaster, which is a very, very good game indeed. It's also very positively received, and it's even received awards. Look at that, it's shortlisted for the Golden Joystick Award, and it's a BAFTA nominee. Despite that, you can get the original base game for 75% off at $7.49, which is an absolutely terrific deal, or you can get the complete collection bundle here. If we have a look at that, it includes all of the DLC here in its entirety alongside the main game. I can't tell you how much that is without doing maths myself, because I've been given keys for most of the DLC to date, so it only cost £7 for me. But if you hadn't owned most of the DLC, it would probably be not too much more expensive. And since they're all 60 to 50% off alongside 75% off the base game, you could get a ton of hours, especially when you're all locked up inside from this game, if you're into the whole building a coaster kind of scenario. While the management side of the game isn't too good, people don't really play it for its management mechanics, kind of tycoon mechanics. They do play it for its good simulation mechanics and for the actual design, and it's got a very good workshop and all that through Steam, because Steam is so darn good. Well, it's not the best, but it's pretty good for a lot of games. The next game we have on our list, or really more of a franchise, is the LEGO Games franchise and many of their games. While you can see I don't own many of the games, I haven't played many of them, I have played the Jurassic World game, which I might highly recommend you pick up on the sale for $3.99. Come on, I spent £16 on that, I feel ripped off. And the LEGO City Undercover game. Unlike a lot of these games you see here, for example, your Indiana Jones, your Batman, your Avengers, your Jurassic World, the LEGO City Undercover game it's like GTA with Legos essentially, but you play the cops and not the robbers. It's a very good game. I've played it on the Wii and the Nintendo Switch, and I bloody well love it. I think I'll get it in the Steam sale as well. So while LEGO games aren't exactly everyone's cup of tea, if there's something you've been thinking of getting into, or if there's something that you enjoy but don't own all of the games in your collections, I'd recommend you get them, because £3, £4, £2, £15, that one's not on sale. Let's ignore the Indiana Jones series. And £6, they're all pretty darn good deals, and if you like LEGO, you're gonna like this. Apparently, they're great. I don't think your Avengers and stuff are that good. They, in my opinion, aren't that good, these games, but I don't know. My girlfriend seems to speak wonders of all of them, somehow. The next game we have here is the very immensely popular Terraria. It was released, as you can see, back on the 16th of May 2011. And it already has 424,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews. 97% of those 424,000 are overwhelmingly positive. That's pretty darn good for a game on Steam. You're not going to find many other games that can say they're that damn good. And it's already pretty cheap. It's $6.99, but it's now down to $3.49, which is even better, especially if you don't have much money to spend in the first place. And while there's no DLC or bundles to speak of here, the game did just release its final update. You can see there the end of the journey update is now out. That is, Terraria is finished. They're not going to update it really after this point in time. So if you want to get an entirely completed game, it's going to be full of stuff to do, and you know, you've got the 424,000 people behind you. It's a great game to get. If you're not aware of Terraria, it's a sandbox kind of game where you can dig stuff, you can fight stuff, you can explore stuff. It's like 2D Minecraft. A lot of people explain it, but it's not. Is the way most people seem to explain it. The next game, F1 2019. This is more of a, well, it is a racing game. It's not more of a racing game. It is exactly a racing game of the Formula One series, a very popular racing series, which you can find on TV every year. It's also got a game, if you were unaware, made by Codemasters and released to very positive reviews, mostly every year. The 2020 version is coming out this year, of course, but if you're not sure about F1 or you've never bought one of the games before, you may want to try out F1 2019 to see what their games are kind of like. F1 2019 will include, you know, the cars, the racing, and everything else, because it's a racing game. You'll get the just idea, and if you don't want to spend £44 on it, then £11.75% off seems like a very good idea. There are bundles available for it as well. You get this Legends Edition here for an additional £1 or £2 here, which will give you the DLC, the Legends DLC, giving you access to these two handsome people there in their cars. I don't know what they're called, and I should know because I've spent hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Formula 1. Anyway, you can play the new cars, you can play the Formula 2 cars, and you can play the classical cars as well if you want to get a taste of history. But if you want to get a different racing game, there is your racing game in the summer sale. The Witcher franchise is a very popular franchise indeed. It's based off that book, I think, and it's even got a Netflix TV series, and, you know, the free game series currently available on Steam. Speaking of that game series, you can buy the first game for £1, the second game for £2, and the entirety of the third game and all its DLC for £10, which for the amount of stuff inside this game, the size of it, is a very good deal indeed. If you somehow don't have The Witcher or somehow have never heard of The Witcher, it's a very popular game. If we can try and get to its Steam store page, I would try, but it is very difficult to do so, it appears. It's only giving you the DLC. There we go. The game gets very positive to overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. It is loved and adored by many people, so you're definitely going to have an awful lot of positivity behind it. It's not a game you're going to go, well, this was rubbish, why did no one tell me this? You would be in the very small minority in that case. The next game we have on this list is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and is here for a couple of reasons. One, all of my friends play it. They seem to speak wonders of it. I personally don't like shooting games in general, so it's not a personal favorite of mine, but it has the cool side of multiplayer tactics. You have to be very tactical in Rainbow Six Siege. You have to execute those plans and those tactics well, or you're going to lose. And if you don't have good tactics, you're still going to lose. You can buy it very cheaply on the Ubisoft store and get it in the Uplay launcher, but if you like all your games in Steam like I do, then you can get it for only £6.79 in the Steam Summer Sale, which I would highly recommend. Like Terraria, it has an awful lot of positivity behind it and a very, very good community indeed. So if it's the kind of game you and a couple of your friends maybe want to get into, or well, I wouldn't really recommend it on your own. You really want a group of people to play it, but you can play it on your own if you wanted to. Then I'd highly recommend you do. EA recently came back to Steam, and with it, they brought the entirety of their Star Wars franchise onto Steam as well. And again, for those of you, like I was mentioning last time, who are not exactly a fan of having all your games, or all your games spread across different launchers, I would recommend you pick up a lot of these games in the Steam Summer Sale. You'll get them much cheaper, and, you know, you'll get them on Steam. One of those games that is very good right now would be the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's not a game I have played, but it's a game I'm meaning to play, so it's one I'm probably going to buy as well. As well as that, you get all their multiplayer games. Not so favorable, I found, on reviews of them, probably because of all their microtransaction-y messes. But I would recommend Jedi Fallen Order right now for £27, 50% off, is a very good deal indeed. And if you're into the multiplayer side of things, and you could get Battlefront or Battlefront 2. Also, that's not a personal recommendation of mine, at least right now. Our ninth game for today would be Space Engineers, a sandbox game about engineering, construction, and exploration in space. It's a very, very positive game, very positively reviewed game, as indeed you can see there. It's got 67,000 positive reviews. It's another game. Of course, I'm not going to show you games that have negative reviews. That's a horrible idea for me. But it is a very well-received game indeed. It's £10, which is 30% off. Not the largest of discounts, but you do get bundles of an awful lot of stuff. If you look into the bundles here, my Steam's going slow, but you get stuff like these packs, you get the deluxe edition, and you get a couple updates and DLCs for the game as well, all for the small price of £21 total, or whatever that it would be in your respective currency. Space Engineers, it's definitely not for anyone. It's a multiplayer game. It's not for everyone, sorry. It's a multiplayer game. It's been around since 2013, if I remember correctly. It's been in early access for a long while, so it's had a lot of work on it. You'll see the trailer on your screen now, but if you think it's something you want to play, it's definitely a good idea. I've not bought it myself. I'm planning on. I have more time for making videos than I do for actually playing games. But I have played it on other people's computers, and it's bloody fun. The Hearts of Iron series is another popular series for the strategy game people out there. And Hearts of Iron IV, I'm sure that's a number, I don't understand it. Probably 4, I'm gonna guess. It's 75% off right now. It's £8.74 to be precise. And it's a very enjoyable game indeed. You have the ability to do all these conflicts in world history. You take control of them, World War II being one example of that here. You can take control of these world conflicts and really do quite a lot with your own control, essentially. Steam has entirely frozen on me, so I can't tell you some of the larger details of the 5th game to be precise, but it kind of allows you to control basically any nation. You can negotiate with different people, different countries. You have a lot of strategic war mechanics and some real-time war simulation as well. There is a lot to get into, and it's a very, very positively reviewed game yet again, indeed. So if it's a strategy game or strategy games is something you want to get into, you should definitely have a look at this, especially with its richer historical stuff as well. And that is it for today. Those were the top 10 games from the Steam Summer Sale, in my opinion. Of course, if you follow the channel, you know I'm more of a tycoon simulation game playing individual. So I try to keep this as broad general as possible. We will have in the next coming days some videos specifically on Tycoon, specifically on simulation and on strategy games, should that be something you want a little more of an in-depth look at from the summer sale. However, like all things, this is my opinion. Steam Summer Sales and their videos that come with them are also going to have, there's so many games out there, there's so many games on sale. It's so opinion-based. There is no way I could have covered every game that someone thinks should be in the video, but it's fine right now, and it'll be fine in the future, so I thank you for watching, and cheerio.